I do more or less every single Tuesday at 5:30. Well, more or less 5:30ish Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream the show into two halves. This week, the first half is on my channel, Bitwit, and then am I okay to continue talking?
Just it's auto sounds playing.
And then in roughly, I would say 45 minutes or so, we'll switch over to Paul's half on Paul's Hardware. Link in my description. And let's see, let's do the whole spiel. We like to have some drinks on show.
Drinking beer?
Yep. Cheers.
Mine's
to all
empty,
of you.
so
Mine's almost empty.
I'm gonna refill it here in just a second.
Occasional foul language, adult language. So if that upsets you, we apologize in advance. Sorry, not sorry. And we have merchandise that we sell in our stores, which are currently on sale. My store is bitwit.tech.
Big sale.
Tons of merch, 15% off orders $50 or more, and 30% off orders $100 or more. We probably added roughly 15 to 20 new items in the last couple weeks, so go ahead and check it out.
It's a cornucopia.
There's a huge corner, something.
It's a panoply.
Total please, lots of please. Extended mouse pads. Mouse pads are really nice.
A milieu.
The mouse pads are selling like hotcakes. I think it's because they match with literally everything.
The mouse pads, Kyle.
The mouse pads are great.
When your mugs are $3 each.
And the mugs are $3 each.
Mugs.
That's true. Almost as good as Paul's Hardware.
Oh yeah.
.net.
Paul'sHardware.net.
What do you got in your store, Paul? Same awesome deal? Same awesome holiday sale?
Also, there are some new stuff. Also, the holiday sale, 15% off, 30% off, $50 and $100 orders, respectively.
Beautiful.
And yeah, the Captain Thumbscrew shirt still going strong. And we got these hood,
the beans.
The beanies now.
The beanarinis.
So, try it.
Beanies are great.
Grab yours, Kyle.
Oh, I have one?
Yeah, it's over there.
Oh, cool.
By the Christmas tree next to your Christmas present.
Oh, wow. I get a Christmas present. I feel I'm a lucky boy.
Well,
I must have been good this year.
You were very good.
All right.
Very good boy.
Look at that. Hold on. We
anyway, beanies available in a variety of...
Flex the thumbscrew. I got to wear it off to the side like one of them youths.
Yeah, well,
there we go.
Obviously that's how you express your gang affiliation.
Yeah, I look like a gang member. You look like one of the robbers from Home Alone. Or something.
Well... Okay, so thanks for buying stuff, and we'll shout your name out at the end of the show.
This is actually quite comfy.
You did.
I'm just going to continue wearing it.
You can have that, honestly.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll definitely wear it.
As long as you wear it.
I will.
Have to wear it. If you're not going to wear it,
give
it to someone who will wear it.
Which is myself.
Pay it forward. Okay, cool.
All right, let's see. Apart from that, we have a relatively simple, straightforward half on my channel. We're going to be doing a Pimp My PC Trainwreck Edition.
Ooh.
Which I don't think we've done before. I kind of just made that up on the spot.
You're asking specifically for the worst possible.
Yes. And there weren't as many submissions as I would have thought for something like this. I guess you guys have been watching long enough, and we've helped you along with your PC building journey that you just don't really need our help anymore. It's like, sending off your kids to college or something like that.
And people are self-conscious about that kind of thing.
It could be. Yeah, they don't want to be a laughingstock, which we will certainly make out of these 5 or 6 people that have submitted today. And we'll also be doing some tech news on my half. Very limited, though. Probably only like 3 or 4 stories because of things. Let's start with Pimp My PC, though. Let's just bite in.
Good.
All right? 2 feet, jumping in.
It's good.
Aaron. Aaron. Aaron has a train wreck of a PC with a GTX 1050 Ti. And by the way, these sort of scale. As we progress through these submissions, they'll get progressively worse.
Train wreckier?
At least I think so.
Okay.
So he's got a GTX 1050 Ti, Core i3 8100, a Gigabyte B360 HD3 motherboard, 8 gigs of RAM. That's just one 8 gig stick there. 500 watt PSU and 1 terabyte hard drive, and also a 120 gig SSD for Windows. So this build is actually go ahead.
Just right out of the gate, I appreciate that he went to the effort of removing the label from his stock Intel heatsink fan. It really makes the entire build pop.
Perfect
for me.
Makes it pop.
Makes it pop. And
you almost forget about those.
You got the Clear Heels fans. Bookends.
Yeah, they're matching.
Bookended Clear Heels fans.
Right.
Which I think if the Intel logo was there, obviously it would have made it like red and blue because there'd be blue there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to.
But what's worse than a stripper wearing those clear stripper heels? A stripper wearing one stripper heel.
That's true. That's true. So at least there's a pair.
At least there's a pair.
At least they are matched.
Yeah.
And I will say, I appreciate the effort exerted here to, just give a little bit of dusting off of the power supply there.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was probably there.
Like a half-assed job.
Took the side panel off. He's like, I'm going to send a picture in for Awesome Hardware. He's got the Awesome Hardware thing. I appreciate.
Maybe they won't notice the
He's
other...
like, little dusty on the power supply there.
The giant contrast.
I'm going to use my hand right here and give, it provides contrast. It lets you know how bad it would have been otherwise.
Right.
So I appreciate that too.
It's very honest.
Okay, so we got the G Fuel branding, of course.
Right.
A little extra cash, I'm sure, going his way from the G Fuel.
Maybe you could put some of that cash from the sponsorship
apparently has no
towards
boot
your
drive.
system.
No boot drive in the system, so that's why he's...
Why is that need a picture? Why?
You should install Windows or something.
Maybe he's trying to tell us something. I need an operating system, don't I? All right. Some reason. All right. Yeah, you need help, buddy.
Perhaps it's the angle of the photo, but these ketchup and mustard cables are actually blending in a little bit, almost right up here.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. It's
like when you have a really bad system, adding bad, ugly things to it almost matches the rest of the ugliness.
Get the beer.
Oh, the beer. Ooh, this is a nice one.
Yes.
I like this one. We've had this one before, I think. We'll do one at a time. Oh, they're both the same.
They're both the same. Yeah,
okay. Or is it so for one for each of us, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
These were brought to the fan meetup. The fin du Monds that we drank last week, to be clear, I believe were brought by Coalition Gaming.
Right.
So when we said thank you to that, but I think we had it mixed around.
Who's this?
These were brought by the other dude who we feel really bad because we forgot his name.
Yeah, other dude, reveal yourself.
He's local and everything, and he's been to fan meetups before.
Multiple, yeah. Cool,
and I hate
cool dude.
that I can't.
Cool dude. And I remember
I remember details about him. I remember where he works.
Yeah.
But anyway. So
tell the internet where he works.
But the names go in one ear and out the other. It's always been a problem with me.
You know who you are.
But the beer is Campfire Stout from High Water Brewing.
This is a great beer.
Leaves you wanting some more because it has graham crackers and molasses with natural flavor.
Oh, that sounds so good.
I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds so good.
Opened with this Paul's Hardware bottle.
One of a kind. One of a kind.
Okay.
It's just so easy.
No,
it does the thing. It's
saucy.
It tells you.
It's a little saucy.
It just works as advertised, which is something you don't see these days.
It's black as jet.
Oh my goodness, this is thicker than motor oil. It's like a Speedway stout.
Okay.
Oh, it's glorious.
Set that over there.
Oh, I'm gonna die. All right.
Excited.
Excited
about this.
Ha.
Are we gonna actually drink?
Yeah, we're gonna drink.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, it's so good.
That is good. That is quite good.
Oh, makes me want to cry. All right.
I like that.
So advice to you, Aaron, would be to watch my recently posted aesthetics build guide.
There you go.
I cover every single component, piece by piece, telling you exactly how to build a showpiece rig that would look like it blends in perfectly on a CES show floor. It's a very in-depth, thorough guide that would be perfect for someone like you if you wanted to really take your system to the next level cosmetically. I suggest you check it out.
Great advice, Kyle.
Let's move on, though, to our next subject, who is Zach.
Zach!
The old Zach attack. This is my only system that I play and stream on. Help! Core i5 4590, MSI Z97 PC Mate motherboard, 2 8GB sticks of Crucial DDR3 1600, an Asus Strix GTX 960, 1TB Seagate hard drive, and it has an optical drive. Just giving you an idea of maybe how dated this system probably is.
You know, optical drives can come in handy from time to time.
They sure can.
Now, I will say that the PC Mate motherboard from MSI, especially the ones from like the Z97 and 170 series, very budget motherboards, very entry level.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to feel bad if you built a budget system and you used one of these motherboards. But every time I see one on Pimp My PC, I'm like, the PC Mate. It's got that brown. It's got that brown PCB because whatever amount of money it would have cost to just make that black. MSI is like, nope,
we'll cut that corner.
Not for this board. So, yeah, they're very basic entry level boards. So anyway, again, here we got some Clear Heels fans in the front. I'm not sure if they're lighting up or not, but they are quite dusty.
Yeah.
They're semi-opaque, so that's an aftermarket mod, I suppose we can classify that as.
Sure.
There is not just an optical drive, but I believe is this a SPDIF cable for the optical drive. I remember plugging that in.
What?
The SPDIF. You get
The
SPDIF
SPDIFs?
audio signal from your optical drive.
I haven't seen
into your motherboard.
that plugged in
That's been a really long time.
I can't remember the last time.
That's
Ancient.
That's cool. Nice gray cable going across
Nice
there.
gray fossil.
Ketchup and mustard cables, of course, as expected from the EVGA 600B power supply. That's a good power supply. It's 600 watt,
Oh yeah.
bronze rated. Cables are hideous, but it will get you by. You could replace most of the stuff in this system and still use that power supply.
Definitely.
And you wouldn't even feel ashamed or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're on a DDR3 platform, so obviously, an upgrade maybe at some point. But honestly, overall, your system specs are fairly well rounded for
Yeah.
for a 4
makes
5
sense.
volt system. So well done there. And I bet this is currently gaming for you just fine.
Yeah. 1080.
It's not a looker. It's not,
Yeah.
definitely not a looker at all. Yeah.
It's I think it's time for
Oh, that's not a SPDIF, that's his front panel audio connector is what chat's saying?
just HD audio.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
Would have been exciting
Got
though,
my
had it been
hopes up.
SPDIF.
The computer is on the floor, and that is a shame. I don't like the computer on the floor. Your front fans there would not be as dusty if you were to
That's true.
get
That's
some
true.
cinder blocks. Cinder blocks are $1 each.
Yep.
$1 cinder blocks. Put your PC. But better to do cinder blocks and then like a piece of wood on top of that, because cinder blocks they put out their own dust. Anyway, moving on here. Oh no, this tweet's not available or something.
Thank you, Zach. Next up we have Bazinga X. Bazinga X.
No, we don't.
Oh no, we don't.
Or I don't know, something's wrong with the link or something.
Oh, it worked for me.
Where's Bazinga? Hold on.
Bazanga.
Let's try one more time.
Bazinga frequently donates in Super Chat.
You have been blocked from performing this action.
Oh, what did you do? What
I
have
don't
you
know.
done?
What are you trying to do to Bazinga X?
What did you do in the last 10 seconds, Paul,
Nothing.
that caused
This
Twitter
is
to
the
ban
link.
you?
This is the link that you
You
gave
just got
me.
ban-hammered.
I
Absolute savage, bro.
I don't know what to do.
I'm
I'm lost.
not sure.
I'm reeling. All right, let's King Dog 08.
Okay, King Dog was a
I'll
backup.
try to get Bazinga's back.
It sort of works
here,
out perfectly because I only put King Dog as a backup in case another one didn't work out, because there's no verification here that this is actually this user's system. They didn't put like an awesome hardware sign, but I thought it was still interesting to point out that he's using an Amazon power adapter, it seems, as a GPU SAG instrument,
No, that's
which is, you know what? Kind of like I'm kind of excited for
system
him.
would look horrible otherwise. So good.
It really saves the build overall. But I can imagine his excitement when he found the perfect thing in his room that was like the exact height to make the GPU sag, go away.
Yeah, it's perfect height and everything.
I think we've all done that, where like we will grab something in the room that's like, oh, this looks like the right like height or whatever, and put it on. Oh, it's too short, or it's like a whole Goldilocks thing. Oh, it's too long. This is like he struck gold with that thing. I mean, it looks terrible, but the graphics card looks great.
It is perfectly perpendicular to the motherboard. You can tell. You could get a carpenter's square here with the RAM sticks and the PCB of that graphics card.
That's plumb.
And it would be you could use
Plumb as
that
fuck.
to build a house, and it would last for 1,000 years.
Protractors look up to this build.
Indeed.
The red dims are sticking out, but not as much as all the cables flying around from your water block on the AIO.
Yeah, let's trace this cable here.
Craziness.
What is this? It's coming up here. Is that going around to this? To that fan here? No, because that's got a cable going back
Maybe
there.
it's the top fan.
This top fan is plugged in here to this is maybe just one of the fan headers that comes out of the power supply or the CPU block.
Right.
Yeah, that's a nightmare for.
And yeah, I think the GPU cable could also be tucked away like underneath the GPU, going into one of those grommets. You have a grommet right next to your GPU. I would suggest using that. And your SSD on top, that's mounted on top of the drive cage, is mounted backwards so that you can see the SATA cables openly. I would try to flip that if possible.
Depends. I mean, that might not be an actual mount. He might have just stuck it there or something. So there might not be clearance for
Maybe there's no mount
for the plugs at the back.
I see.
So, but yeah, it's not the best for that. You could
Interesting.
You could put it sideways, or you could stick it to the back here, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have those cables there. Yeah.
But
No ketchup and mustard on the power supply though. So
right.
you get points for that.
Next up,
tons of points.
Thank you, King Dog. Next up, we have Mr. Ant, 4kg, and he has half of a case.
Oh wow.
No specs here, but I thought this was kind of interesting because there's no top panel or side panel. I think this is actually...
Wow.
I don't know what case this is, but it's... this is a sad-looking build. Like I said, they're getting progressively worse here. Oh. Look at those drives just piled up like a junkyard.
Down here?
Just kind of... I'm shocked that those aren't dead.
And those are mechanical drives, too.
And they're mechanical drives. If anything, those should be mounted more than almost anything in the case.
And there's one mechanical drive that did die, that the carcass was just left in the case to rot.
Right.
You know,
it's like a hard drive.
That's not plugged in.
It's like an HDD concentration camp.
It's not functional.
It's terrible.
The power supply has some strange gang tagging scrawled across it.
Yeah. Someone, a gang member was here.
This is the cable for this rear fan?
And it's just hanging out all over, just like someone's entrails all over the GPU.
And is this this is another fan plugged into the EVGA thing here. Just so you guys know, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware, obviously we're not looking at the best system ever built. Typically when you have little fan headers coming off of a CPU block for an AIO like that, they want you to plug in the fans that are connected to the radiator.
Yeah. Because
it will ramp up the fan speed if the CPU gets hot in order to increase the efficiency of the radiator.
Right.
So that's usually what you should be doing. A rear fan like this should just be plugged into a header on the motherboard. That said, I usually bypass those and just plug into the CPU headers on the CPU fan header for my fans on radiators, but I'm getting distracted here. Front panel USB does work, so I have to give him props for that. I wonder what's...
Now we're just judging functionality.
Yeah.
Oh,
basic
the PC
functionality
works.
Here. You know, maybe what he was going for here is like that thermal take view case.
That's what I thought this case was at first.
Excuse me.
With the sort of rounded side panel. Sorry, I hit the mic.
Yeah.
That curves around the top and side. Yeah, I thought that at first.
It's really
just minus the nice looking side panel.
You should see if Thermaltake will just sell him that tempered glass glass piece and
just gently lean it
set it on top. Then you'll be set.
That fixes everything.
I like it.
Yeah, I think we're getting into that territory where these rigs are so far gone that they can't really be helped. And the best medicine here would to just be build a new system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. I agree. Truer words have never been spoken. Oh, this is... Wait, what?
And since the other entries weren't working for some reason, those links were broken or whatever, our last person is Alexis.
Bazinga X has blocked me.
You're blocked?
I'm blocked by Bazinga X.
That's weird. Bazinga X is a patron of the channel and
that's strange.
Always donating.
Bazinga, why is it saying that you blocked me? For anyone who's wondering, that's why I can't pull up the
weird
thing. It's because I'm logged in.
I can see his profile. He follows me.
I don't know. I don't know.
Bazinga X, why are you hating on the Paul?
I must have pissed him off.
Why are you hating, bro? Paul's my boy.
But you know what? I don't even care.
Just block him back.
I don't even care because
block the shit out of him.
I'm gonna bypass that using my amazing knowledge of how browsers work.
Incognito.
And use incognito mode. There we go, Bazinga.
There it is.
I see you tried.
You can't escape, Paul.
To not have your Pimp My PC featured that you sent in to be featured. Obviously, that was your plan.
Maybe he's just trolling.
Anyway, here's Bazinga X's horrible PC.
So
wow, I'm glad though. I'm glad I went to the extra effort to pull this up here.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. That's why I selected it. He said not staged, and yes, it does work as is. So okay, functionality is one thing, but holy hell, just it looks like a server or something. The amount of cables that are just pouring out of this system.
Is that a 900D? Corsair?
That is the D.
That is the D.
It's a big old D.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those chassis in a while, but
for some reason this gap on the front reminds me of the. You know the Matterhorn at Disneyland. It used to have you ride the Skyway through it. Anyway, never mind.
idea.
Never mind what I was trying to talk about. Sorry. I just realized I was like, no, that's going.
It's the loosest association I've ever heard. Cables.
Lots of drives connected. I love how the dust settles on SATA connectors from a stack of drives that have been plugged in
It's insane.
for like a couple years, right? You know,
Yep.
it's just like, oh, what do you do about that? You got to go in and unplug each one.
Yeah.
Dust it off.
Get a wet wipe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an insane amount of dust. It just needs to be rebuilt if you're gonna keep it in, keep it commissioned.
Busted Buddha knows what I was talking about. Just, I was like, I know there's probably like one person who
Disney nerd.
remembers that. Anyway.
But I think what this really needs to happen here is everything stripped out, cleaned individually, and then reinstalled. If you're gonna continue using this system regularly, because I think this build would clean up nicely.
Yeah.
If the cables are routed properly.
There's already a lot of potential here. I mean, he's got some Dominator Platinum memory. He's got a nice set of blue SATA cables that match with the blue LEDs on the fans.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta go, Bazinga, you gotta go the extra step here. MSI, change, get the MSI, our Mystic Light software, and change your MSI RGB light on the side of your graphics card to blue, and then everything will blend in.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're looking for here.
Indeed.
Yes.
What Paul said.
He sent more pictures.
We don't need
Is
to
that
see
all
them.
of them?
That's good. Did we see? Oh yeah, we saw Mr. Ant. So I guess our
Did
last.
everyone see Greg's baby? There's Greg's baby.
Greg? Oh yeah, Greg's baby.
Uh,
Looks just like Lisa. Thank God. Just kidding, man. Congratulations again.
yes.
That's awesome. It's a beautiful
That's
baby.
great. All right. Well, that was fun.
All right.
Are there any more?
We have one more.
Oh, we got one more.
We have one more. This is Alexis Breakfast.
Alexis Breakfast.
Yes. With a EVGA GTX 960, 4GB model, AMD FX 6300, 6-core CPU, Gigabyte 970A motherboard, 8 gigs of RAM, that's two 4-gig sticks, Thermaltake TP650 80 plus power supply, and Cooler Master AM2 cooler. Don't know what the case is here, but it looks bad.
That's an epic case.
And this is the
Whoa.
dirtiest system, the most dusty system I've ever seen. I was really happy to see the awesome hardware verification because this looks like a pic that someone would pull from the internet.
You're right. It kind of does.
Totally fake, but it's not.
That's.
So I'm actually very excited that this is a real viewer.
It's like an interesting colored dust too. It's kind of a.
I don't even want to know what makes it that color.
It's a little rusty.
It's like when dust gets dust.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at all the dust on top of the dust. The dust is getting dusty.
Exactly. All right. So there's our verification and everything.
Look at that heat sink. There's not even a. Oh, there is a. I couldn't even see the fan.
No, it's in pull, so you can get a better appreciation of the dust buildup on your Hyper 212 over the course of a decade or however long.
Yeah, I could not. My jaw dropped when I saw this. I could not believe this was an actual build.
I got it. So DDR3
and it's not on the floor, but it might as well be. It's very close to the ground. Is that?
It looks like in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas when he goes out to cover the driving event that he's supposed to cover, and they're all driving the motorcycles through the desert.
Right, the buggies.
It looks like you brought this computer there and then just let it run for a few
let people
days.
do donuts around it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of here.
See, now that's a good analogy.
Thank you.
Matterhorn was lost on me. This is
Fear and Loathing.
You redeemed yourself.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh hell yeah.
Absolutely.
In all kinds of ways.
So,
yeah.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for sending this in. It's a great example.
Please.
Of
before you touch this rig again, please, for the love of God, I will buy you a data vac if you promise to film yourself dusting it and send it to us.
That'd be very satisfying.
I will buy you the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Just dust it off. Make sure it's you're using a decent camera, just so we can see it on the next episode or
this
a future episode.
This would be incredibly satisfying just to clean. I mean, so maybe that's what the intent was. It's like you're waiting to this certain level of, dustification.
Needs to be
before
worth
you can cleanify it. I feel like I'm making up a lot of words today. It's okay.
Cleanify works.
It's fine.
We all know what you
cleanify. You need to cleanify the dustification.
Cleanify the shit out of that.
Cleanify the shit.
Or just clean.
Or just clean, I guess, would also work, but sounds better.
Oh man. All right,
more
man.
syllables makes it sound fancy.
Smartener.
Use the multisyllabic words. Okay.
It's a smartener. Oh, all right, thanks,
Pimp My
Alexis.
PC. That was fun. We should do
Yeah.
a train wreck edition more often.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it more regularly. But moving on to some tech news. All right, come on. Xbox, what's going on, Xbox?
News.
Or Microsoft, I should say. This is everywhere now. Xbox, the new Xbox is just called Xbox. Before it was like, why are they calling it Xbox Series X? And then Microsoft did an official statement. We're like, no, it's actually just called Xbox.
Well, I can explain the Xbox Series X. I have a very...
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the Series X, basically what they came out with, the naming, that just identifies one of several new Xbox consoles, because there'll be different variants, exactly. And Series X is just one of those, but at their core, this is just called Xbox. So is it more confusing? Is it less confusing? I think it's less confusing, but it doesn't make the name any less terrible.
So you think Xbox as a name is terrible?
No, actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. I think it's both confusing and terrible. It's terrible because it's confusing. I mean, what if, I think of search results. Like, if you're searching for the new Xbox, you type in Xbox, and that's all you get. Maybe new Xbox, 2019 Xbox, or whatever. But that's not just like a concrete, definitive name that Google, you can just query, and Google will be like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. You'll probably get a whole pile up of just random, old, 2011 Xbox shit or Xbox 360. There's nothing differentiating it.
And I feel like it's something that people will, if Microsoft doesn't differentiate this Xbox from other Xboxes, people will differentiate it themselves. Mm-hmm. And there's companies that have tried to do this before. Apple tried to do it with their iPad, and they're like, we're going to make an iPad. Now we're going to make another iPad. It's still going to be iPad. And everyone's like, all right, we're going to call it the iPad 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So people will make up names for this. And this leads into my cynical interpretation of Xbox Series X, which at first I was like, all right, I see what they're going for. But then I was like, wait, no, this is a big company, and I feel like they intentionally did it this way. Xbox Series X, everyone's just going to shorten to Sexbox or Xbox X, right? Because it's Series X,
sure.
SX.
SEX.
Whether you shorten it to SX or SEX, Series X.
Have people already started doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, people calling it Sexbox everywhere.
So they're copying Elon Musk, basically.
To some extent. So for me, I'm like, all right, the name Xbox Series X, if you're testing a bunch of different names and what's punchy and what people will be good for branding and whatever, I don't think they chose it because Series X makes sense or anything like that. I think they chose it because they want people to shorten it to Sexbox or Xbox Series X. They don't have the balls to just go out and call it that.
Sure.
And then it's tongue-in-cheek thing where people call it Sexbox and it's sexy.
Right.
And it's we're aiming it at 13 and 14-year-olds where they say sex.
I got the Sexbox,
and
bro.
It's sex and it's very edgy and stuff like
Doesn't
that.
matter, had Sexbox.
I don't know. And apologies, any of you 13 and 14-year-olds who are watching the show right now. I didn't mean you guys. You guys are cool. You know what's up.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Anyway.
You're so woke. Super woke.
Yeah, at first I was like, haha, Sexbox. And I was like, wait, no, they want me to do that.
Shit.
So anyway,
falling into their marketing scheme.
That's my interpretation of this.
Well, I kind of think that's genius in a sense.
You're right, and it's
it's annoying that they're doing it.
Irritatingly effective marketing.
Irritatingly effective is exactly the right way to put it.
And yeah, I don't know. Sexbox.
I just can't help but think how much better it would all just seem and sound if they just used their code names. Like Project Scarlet, that sounds kind of badass.
Yeah.
And their other, they have other code names for the other variants of new Xbox.
It's like what we've been telling Intel. It's like, Intel, don't make all these stupid your marketing department sucks at the names they choose for
Stop it with the numbers.
Use the code names.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And for any of you guys who weren't already aware, this is Project Scarlet. This is Xbox Series X is what Project Scarlet is being launched as to the consumers out there.
I don't actually know, though, because the article was kind of weird. There were some rumors are saying that this Series X is actually codenamed Anaconda, and that Project Scarlet is going to be a different variant. There's going to be a cheaper console than this flagship that's called Lockhart. That's the code name for that. And then there's going to be a digital only version, perhaps, that's going to have its own like code name. At any rate, the point I'm trying to make
I'm
is
not sure.
all these code names sound way better than Series X or Series Y, whatever they're planning to. Like, what do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be like the next Xbox? The other variants are going to be Series Y. Maybe they spell sex with it, like they really bite off Elon Musk and go Series E, Series S. What are they going to call them? You know?
Well, if they wanted it to be somewhat simple, then yes, I would think they would have an Xbox Series X, and X always supposed to sound cool. That's why it's originally called the Xbox. So that would be your fast one. Then you'd have like a Series S, and that would want to be slim or stealthy,
the digital
or
one.
small or something like that. And then you have an Xbox Series plebeian or you'd have a Series whatever the entry level one was, like a Series A or something like that. I don't know. They could do that, and that would be reasonable enough, because if all that's differentiating, if they come out with 3 or even 4 different types of Xboxes with this generation, and they have 3 or 4 different letters, and that's it, I think that would be reasonable. That would be, you could stomach that as a consumer, and you could differentiate between them, and it would be simple enough. But
I really think there's a lot of truth now to your theory about they just want it to be called Xbox Sex, because I just realized that Xbox One was abbreviated Xbone.
Yes.
I just made that connection.
They've done it before.
Yeah, they've done it, but it's already in progress.
Xbox marketing team is they're just a bunch of like teenagers. Their humor, it's probably effective on some level. No. I mean, the hardware, the hardware I thought was
pretty promising.
Kind of cool. I mean, I like
Ryzen 8 core, Zen
even more than previous generations of consoles. It's basically a computer. It's just got some stuff that you can't do with it like a normal computer does. But the vertical design, I think, looks okay. It's got a cooling system similar to like the Fantex cases, or like the Apple whatever trash can PC or whatever.
Yeah.
They're pulling air from the bottom and going out the top, and the hardware specs have been fairly impressive, at least from what they're talking about with what it's going to support when it comes to resolution and everything. So that's cool.
I'm curious to see how serviceable it is, what parts you'll be able to swap out, whether you can exchange or upgrade or expand the memory or the storage. I know that storage has typically been a pretty common component that's upgradable in previous consoles and current gen consoles. It'd be cool to see them take that to the next level with some additional parts. Speaking of which, our next article.
Can you guys hear Hero breathing?
Everyone in the comments is noting that they hear dog snoring.
He's so peaceful right now.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like ASMR, dog ASMR. Speaking of which, that leads us to our next article, which is from Ars Technica about the Mac Pro and iFixit doing a sort of inspection, a full teardown of this new beastly Apple product.
I was impressed by this.
Yes.
For all the criticism we leveled at the Mac Pro last week.
They did one thing right here.
Some of the prices and stuff like that.
They did a good thing.
And also, I saw a video this week as well. I apologize, I don't remember the YouTuber who posted it, but they were comparing some of the other enterprise options to the Mac Pro. And some of, like, if you want to buy the same hardware that's in the Mac Pro from like HP or something, there are enterprise systems that cost like $70,000 and above. Kind of in the same way as
making these look cheap.
It's a different like what you're paying for there though is going to be like enterprise level support, like they're going to be there 24/7 and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
it's a different kind of package.
There's something to be said for, there is going to be, I guess, some level of interest. There's going to be people who, I'm not doing good at talking. I am impressed with the ability to break it down, take it apart.
Yeah. It's extremely user serviceable.
And from a hardware level, for those of, we just did Pimp My PC where we were sitting there talking about how clean the systems look and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good looking system, especially internally when you take the top cover off and everything.
Yeah, they should offer a side panel version of the chassis.
Yeah,
honestly,
that would be cool.
I'm
take
sad, a page out of
sad they don't have
PC's book.
A shot of just the system with the cover off here, but
yeah.
Anyway.
So just to go into a bit more detail here, the CPU, the RAM, and the PCIe cards are all accessible and replaceable, just like a traditional desktop PC. There's no proprietary screws or tools required to access it, very much like there is with like the Macs, traditional like laptops and stuff.
You do need a long screwdriver.
You do need a long screwdriver,
If you want to remove
it's
the
not too bad.
heatsink fan. I know that because I've been following along with Quinn Nelson, aka Snazzy Q's.
Oh yeah,
He's been disassembling it all day today, which is why I know some of the stuff
nice
about it.
Nice. Apparently, the SSD is like the most difficult thing to replace, or cannot be replaced. It's a modular SSD, but it's bound.
This is the CPU cooler, by the way. Quinn Nelson, Snazzy Q. He has a YouTube channel. He does good content.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He's good peeps too.
Anyway, somehow I kept up with this pretty well today. But yeah, he had to get a long screwdriver to go in there to remove the CPU. But yeah, like there's a look at the motherboard. It's very clean. I thought he did a shot of here.
Did he have to buy this?
Yeah, this is one that he bought. So there's just with the hood taken off, and you can see the internals there. This is a little housing they have for the CPU cooler. So,
Apparently, when you take that enclosure off, it automatically disconnects all power to the system, which is kind of cool.
That makes sense. I mean, some people who know what they're doing might not want that, but
yeah.
Look at that quality control.
It's dummy-proof.
I like this.
Oh,
quality. What is this? Come on, Apple.
That's lame.
Anyway.
It should be pristine everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, iFixit had nothing but great things to say about it in terms of how user accessible it is, replaceable it is.
This is a CPU cooler, it's not centered because, they're building for a system they know where it's going to be installed. So
yeah.
They're able to do this kind of off-center thing with that, which is kind of cool. But, I mean, the fact that they've gone and, done a black powder coating on all the pipes and everything like that, that's intentional. So that's cool. Apparently, it also comes with, instructions for how to take it apart.
That's cool.
And, upgrade the RAM and stuff. So
this is definitely... And I think this makes sense for the target audience that this is meant for. Because these are IT guys, that are going to be buying these systems, more or less, that are familiar and more comfortable with servicing their own hardware. These aren't, your average Apple user people who are buying these up and I don't know, I'm intimidated to crack the back panel off of my system or my laptop. I'll take it to the Genius Bar and have them fiddle with it. I paid the extra premium so that, people fix it for me. I'm not a DIYer. That's not Apple's core mainstream audience. But it certainly is for this niche product. So it makes sense, and it's good on Apple for making this product very easy to service and get into. Did not grate cheese, though. iFixit did do a cheese grating test and found that it is ineffective in that regard. So that's quite disappointing.
I was led to believe that was sort of a bonus thing that you got, was that it could also grate cheese. So
I think that would have sold a lot more units.
A little disappointing, but
definitely makes it worth it. Probably an add-on for another $20,000.
Yes.
AData has had a shipping oof that we are talking about now. People who bought an XPG SX8200 Pro 1TB SSD from Rakuten, big e-tailer Rakuten, during Black Friday weekend. They did not get the XPG SX8200 Pro 1TB SSD. In fact, they got the SX8100 drive instead, which is significantly slower and just overall not as good. The SX8200 Pro, the Pro drive, the top tier SSD, it's a great drive. It really is. Great value, good bang for the buck, even versus something like the Samsung 970 EVO Plus. It normally goes for $147 US. But Rakuten had it on sale for $106, so it was a pretty good deal, understandably so. Makes sense why so many people bought one. But the orders were not fulfilled by Rakuten themselves, but rather through AData directly. And as admitted by a rep from AData themselves, they just did a really bad job of managing their inventory, and it resulted in a huge shortage. They did not have enough drives to supply everyone who bought one during this deal. And so there was a number of users who were reporting getting the slower drive shortly after they received an email from AData via Rakuten that the company's shipment of the Pro drive was delayed and that it was substituting the slower SX8100. I'll just read a quick snippet of what the email said to affected customers. We apologize for the inconvenience, but due to an issue at the port, I like how they say an issue at the port. That's very broad.
You can never trust those port people. They're always screwing things up.
Well, we should fire a bunch of warehouse workers. The 8200 item you ordered was delayed and will be delayed until the week of 12/22. We had sent out messages regarding this previously, however, so here's a key point. We had sent out messages regarding this previously, meaning that what you're reading now is a follow-up email. However, some people did not receive this message. This is why we're sending another one. Due to the long wait, we offered customers to swap to the 8100 to avoid the long delay as an option, and if there was no response, the 8100 would be shipped. If you receive the 8100 and wish to return it, please let us know. We offer free returns, and we'll provide you with a free return label to ship back the slower drive to us for a refund, or for the 8200 once it's back in stock. So a lot of people said that they never received the initial email notifying them that there was this huge shipping mishap. And so this follow-up email from AData was the first one that they were ever seeing, which is not good.
It's a good look.
Definitely not good. And to make things even more confusing, the box that some of these slower drives, the 8100 slow drives shipped in, were marked as 8200 Pro drives. So people didn't even realize they were getting the slow drive until they opened the box. The branding on the box even said that they were getting the fast drive. And it wasn't until they actually uncovered the box to realize I got like a drive that's significantly slower and much cheaper than what I paid for. So understandably, customers are upset, and understandably, this makes AData look very bad. They did admit fault though. As bad as it makes them look, they did own up to it. They admitted that they screwed up, and and they're trying to make it right as best as they can. Anyone who received the slower drive can send it back and receive a Pro drive when it becomes available next week. And free shipping labels are going to these affected users as well. So, have you ever had like a really bad tech shipping mishap where you just like you bought something and you got something completely different?
The first thing I ever bought that was a PC upgrade, which was for the Hewlett, I think it was a HP, like beige desktop, like not even a vertical desktop, like one of the horizontal ones that you put the monitor on top. I tried to buy memory for that, and they sent me the completely wrong type of memory. I bought it on eBay, and I got mad at them. And I remember when we were working at Newegg, there was that scam that went through, which was that Newegg got a bunch of just not CPUs that were in CPU box. They were Intel CPUs. I think they were.
Oh yeah.
I think they were like Core i7 920s or something like that.
I remember that.
And they like the boxes. The retail boxes looked pretty legit, and they felt like they had something in them because they had taken this like foam injection thing and made these like fake heat sinks to go in there, and then they had a picture of a heat sink that they stuck on top of it.
Oh my god.
Put that in the box, just so like at first glance you look at this pallet of boxes of CPUs and it looks legit. It looks like there's a CPU in there. You pick one up. It's like, oh, feels like it's not just an empty box. Somehow those got all the way through to the point where they were shipped to customers, and then people started being like, this is not a CPU that I received and stuff like that.
Fuck is this?
Yeah, so, obviously there was, at some point, there were multiple fails along the chain and not catching that.
Yeah.
At the point when it was caught, the retailer does what they have to do, and they reach out to the customers who bought them, and they're like,
sorry,
here's an actual CPU. We'll send you this time and everything. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the recently what happened? Joe got me a motherboard. This was for the Hydro X build. He went to I sent Joe. Joe lives somewhat near to Micro Center. So sometimes I'm like, hey, Joe, and when he's coming over, I'm like, hey, can you stop by there and pick up this piece of hardware for a build or something like that? So he went and bought a motherboard, Micro ATX X570 board, brought it here, we opened it up, it's a B450 motherboard in there. Or it might even be a B350 motherboard.
What maker?
I don't remember. But basically somebody was like, I'm going to upgrade to X570. Went to Micro Center, bought the motherboard, took it home, took their old motherboard, put it in the box, and then brought it back and returned it to Micro Center.
Oh my god.
That's very, very, very common.
Yeah.
It's up to the retailers. Like, that's why returns, like, you can't just take a box and you have to check what's inside and everything.
Oh,
so, yeah. It sucks when you end up with the thing because some other asshole was, like, trying to pull a scam or something.
Right.
Anyway. Okay.
Frustrating. Okay, that's it for my half,
Groovy.
y'all. Thank you very much for watching. Don't go anywhere, though, because Paul's half is right around the corner. We're going to start it in just a minute here. Follow the link in my video description if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on twitch.tv, stay right where you are. We will be RB, and thanks to Your Everyday Tech for doing timestamps. If you're going to do that, thank you very much. And shout out to our moderators and friends in chat. Crafty, Wifey Sauce, I see you there. Honey, hi. And I think Cell is taking a hiatus. But
Yeah, Cell's on break right now. But
Cell's on break.
We should also point out we are going to be on break. Next week is Christmas. Week after that is New Year's. Week after that is CES.
So
so for 3 weeks, we will not be doing the live show. So keep that in mind.
Your Tuesday nights are now open.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Be right back.